yellow macaw. This brightly colored bird is a sight to behold, with its vibrant plumage that mirrors the hues of a tropical sunset. Despite their beauty, these birds are known for their loud, raucous calls that echo through the rainforest. At number 8, we find the leatherback sea turtle. This gentle giant is the largest turtle species in the world. These turtles traverse thousands of miles of ocean, returning to the very beaches they were born on to lay their own eggs. Coming in at number 7 is the scarlet ibis. This stunning bird with its fiery red plumage is not just the national bird of Trinidad and Tobago, but also a symbol of the vibrant life that thrives on these islands. At number 6, we encounter the West Indian manatee. This slow-moving, gentle creature is often called a sea cow due to its diet of seagrass and other aquatic plants. Despite their size, these creatures are surprisingly graceful swimmers. Moving on to number 5, we find the ocelot. This small, nocturnal cat is a stealthy hunter, stalking its prey under the cover of night. Its beautiful spotted coat makes it one of the most admired animals in Trinidad and Tobago. At number 4, we have the golden tegu. This large, gold-colored lizard is a sight to behold. Despite its intimidating size, the golden tegu is known for its calm demeanor and is often found basking in the sun. Sliding into the 3rd spot is the Trinidad piping guan. This elusive bird, also known as the pawi, is found only in Trinidad. It's known for its distinctive call, which sounds like a pipe being blown. At number 2, we find the capuchin monkey. These intelligent primates are known for their curious nature. They're often seen using tools to access food, showcasing their problem-solving abilities. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the Trinidad chevron tarantula. This large, striking spider is renowned for its unique patterned abdomen. Despite its fearsome appearance, this tarantula is generally docile and poses little threat to humans. From the smallest deer to the largest spider, Trinidad and Tobago's wildlife is as diverse as it is captivating. Each creature, in its own way, contributes to the rich tapestry of life that makes these islands such a remarkable destination for nature lovers.
What an amazing way to just hear about all the diverse and fun facts that we have right here in Trinidad and Tobago shows. We're about to take a short break, but when we come back, we have more engaging conversations for you.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
There are limitations in all the healthcare sectors,
Correct.
not just this country,
Yes.
where the numbers will surpass the amount of doctors and nurses to provide that quality care. When we're talking about holding a patient's hand, giving them the support, the emotional support that they need, advice, that gap.
Yes.
You are providing that pivotal gap, so that really makes you stand out from all other NGOs as far as my experience goes.
Yes, I actually go into the homes also of the patients.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1, find the style number on the tag. Step 2, match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3, search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide, Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movie Town, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Are you driven, ambitious, and ready to earn? WESN, the content capital, is expanding, and we're looking for dynamic media sales executives to join our team. Sell powerful advertising solutions across television, digital, and social media platforms, and help brands tell their story. If you have strong communication skills, a passion for sales, and the drive to succeed, join WESN today. Send your CV to marketing@wsncc.com or WhatsApp 6861662 and start building your future.
In this day of stay-at-home and work from home, home has never meant more than it does today. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or build your new home, now is the time to get going. Gittins & Gittins real estate agents are here to take you to that place of your dreams. Let us take you home. We help you find that rental to rest along the way, or journey with you to find your home destination. Investors and commercial enterprises too. Call us and we'll walk the distance to place your business in just the right location. Owners, leave the headaches to us. We'll find your tenants or buyers while you stay at home. We'll even manage your property at your bidding. Anything real estate, come home to Gittins & Gittins Real Estate. Call us at 760-3280 or 747-1220 or visit us at 16 Fifth Street in Woodbrook.
Welcome back. Now, if you're looking for an evening of culture, storytelling, music, and powerful performances, then you want to mark your calendar for an exciting theatre production that's coming to Diwali Nagar. It's called Pavana Winds of Change, and it promises to take its audience on an unforgettable journey through drama, dance, and inspiration. Joining us this morning to tell us more is Sita Prasad, but before we get into that interview, take a look at this video.
National Lotus Theatre and Sita Prasad proudly present Pavana Winds of Change, a spectacular theatrical experience filled with suspense, drama, comedy, and romance, bringing the very best of Indo theatre in Trinidad to the stage. Journey through a powerful modern-day story inspired by ancient teachings with electrifying performances by Sabita Sukhdeo and group, Nishana Dance Academy, Abigail Mansing, Gregory Paul, and the talented, versatile Timothy Ramprasad. One night only, Saturday 25th July 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at the fully air-conditioned Diwali Nagar Auditorium. Get your tickets now at Prem Singh's Chagwanas and Q Rep. For more information, call Sita Prasad at 252-5773. Pavana, Winds of Change, where emotions rise, secrets unfold, and destiny takes center stage.
So we welcome Ms. Sita Prasad to the show to find out more about this. Good morning.
Good morning.
So right away, can you tell us what inspired this year's theme, Pavana Winds of Change?
I guess, in Trinidad, we try to do theater that would kind of satisfy our mixed audience. And this is why we're taking it from the Indo theater perspective, but we have the English meaning, which is Winds of Change. And it just deals with Trinidad, typical Trinidad, everyday life. So it's basically a full production with song, music, dance, and of course drama. And we have comedy, suspense. It is a package that I think could please any kind of audience, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And can you tell us, why do you think theater helps preserve and celebrate our culture in a way that it does?
I think theater plays a significant role, a great role in preserving our culture. From, ever since, in any country of the world, theater and films and all of this, it reflects life, it reflects a people, it reflects our growth and development. And most of all, it reflects our culture, what is really our culture. So yes, indeed, it plays a great role. In Indian culture, we have our traditions, and you can learn so much from a theater production about this culture. So yes, indeed, theater does play a great role in preserving our culture.
Yeah. Were there any challenges that arose in putting this production together? And how did you overcome that?
Well, there are always challenges, in actually bringing this production to a stage where we can ask for an audience. Apart from getting sponsorship, apart from getting the correct actors in place and having, 20 hours of training, when the production is ready, we go to the corporate sponsors so that we can actually pay our bills in order to have this production. And it's always an uphill struggle because many times we find that the corporate sponsors do not trust the product, for want of a better term. I don't know, but it's always been very difficult to get funding for this sort of production. I think I'm not the only producer who would face these kinds of challenges across the board. But in my case, it is an uphill struggle to actually stage and to produce this play and have it on stage ready for an audience.
And without giving away too much, just, but to go in a bit more details, what can the audience expect from attending this production?
Well, our local plays are always filled with excitement, yeah? From the word go, you have the start of the play, which is very exciting. People are arguing about getting a job and getting a promotion in their job, and how the bosses are cutting them down in favor of their relatives. So we are dealing with that issue in the business. And then we have a young lady who has just lost her job because her company went into receivership, and she's out there looking for a job and finding difficulty in getting placement. So you see, from the word go, the excitement starts, and we build the story where she saw this well-to-do gentleman, and the question is whether this could be a union, because then this girl is well-educated but couldn't find a job. So like you say, not giving away a lot, but yeah. This is the storyline.
Wow. I mean, you already started it, so it's something to look forward to, definitely. Can you just share on some of the performers and even creative minds behind this show?
Yes, we have Juanito Sugrim, well-known in Trinidad for his podcast and a TikToker. And we have Indra Foster. We have a lot of well-to-do actors who, Tibeti Rampasad. Then we have the juniors in my own village, Kavish and Avish, the brothers team, who, will do that comedy for us. And we have a trained model, Maya Suchit, and of course, Varun Prasad, who is taking the stage for the first time in a lead role. So a young gentleman who is just 18 and is taking on the lead role. So these are some of the persons you can look forward to seeing in this production of Pavana, Winds of Change.
Wow. And now, is this production for the entire family to come out and be a part of, or is there a targeted audience that you're looking towards?
Again, this is a family-oriented production.
Yeah.
We keep it clean. Lots of comedy, but it is for family members, parents, children, you can feel free to come in and sit and enjoy this production.
Yeah. And what is the message that you hope the audience can take away from the production after?
Well, I am giving the audience an opportunity to see the Tulsi story. Now, in our tradition, the Tulsi story is one that is very common, is known with all homes in all villages. You see the Tulsi plant and you see people worshipping the Tulsi, and you wonder, well, why is this plant so, what is the significance behind this? And so we're giving them that story because it deals with relationship and our tradition, our teachings of what this plant signifies in this country, in this time, in this age, I would say, to put it like that.
Yeah. And now, why was the Diwali Nagar chosen to be the venue for this production?
Well, again, we're looking at Central.
Yeah.
We're looking at, an air-conditioned facility, and we're looking for safety for parking. And that is the reason why this venue was chosen.
Mm-hmm. How does this production how different, I should say, is this production from the others that would have happened or tend to happen around this time?
Well, I would say, the take on Indo culture in Trinidad, and as you know, the Indian culture is big, is something that everyone dabbles in from time to time.
Yeah.
Together with, Afro culture and all the other cultures in this country. And I think, taking it from that perspective where you would look forward to that Bollywood music and that Bollywood dance, and the Bollywood feel, it is different in the sense, but then here it is, I am not taking a film out of Bollywood and redoing it per se. I actually sit down and wrote my own script, my own production. So that is original, but then we would get some of what's happening in Bollywood or what have happened in the past, We would have taken some of the music here and there to bring the story to life.
Yeah, wow. And now, what would you say to someone who's never attended a production like this, and just to give them the urge to come out and bring the family to be a part of it?
I think this is a very good production. If students are home on summer vacation, and looking for somewhere to go, there's the lesson in it. There is the ability to showcase the talent of this country, and you can see where dance, song, they come together in a production. You can have the taste of this our Trini flavor production, and this is something that I think it will please everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a story that can really carry to its audience. I sit in total comfort and enjoy a good theater production.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you tell us if tickets are still available and where can persons purchase tickets to be a part of this?
Yes, tickets are available at Prem Singh's in Shagwanas, and then we have in Free Zone, but then you can call the number and, we can make that reservation for you and collect your tickets at the door.
Yeah. And just to remind us again of the date and time to be present.
Right. Pavana Winds of Change will be shown on July 25th, 6:30 p.m. at Diwali Nagar, Shagwanas.
And do you have any final messages you'd like to leave with the audiences this morning about the production?
Oh, definitely. This is somewhere to go. If you are foreigners visiting Trinidad and your relatives, come on down to Diwali Nagar on July 25th. We will give you a treat. That will be a production that you will remember, I'm sure.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for coming on this morning and telling us about it. We definitely have something to look forward to, especially seeing culture in these lights as an indoor theater happening. So it is something definitely to make sure that you're telling the family about, to bring them out to be a part of this. So we do have that video, so we want to play that video again to end this off.
National Lotus Theatre and Sita Parsad proudly present Pavana, Winds of Change, a spectacular theatrical experience filled with suspense, drama, comedy and romance, bringing the very best of Indo theatre in Trinidad to the stage. Journey through a powerful modern-day story inspired by ancient teachings with electrifying performances by Sabita Sukhdeo and group, Nishana Dance Academy, Abigail Mansing, Gregory Paul and the talented, versatile Timothy Ramprasad. One night only, Saturday 25th July 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at the fully air-conditioned Diwali Nagar Auditorium. Get your tickets now at Prem Singh's Chagwanas and Q Rep. For more information, call Sita Parsad at 252-5773. Pavana, Winds of Change, where emotions rise, secrets unfold, and destiny takes center stage.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
In this day of stay-at-home and work from home, home has never meant more than it does today. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or build your new home, now is the time to get going. Gittins & Gittins real estate agents are here to take you to that place of your dreams. Let us take you home. We help you find that rental to rest along the way, or journey with you to find your home destination. Investors and commercial enterprises too, call us and we'll walk the distance to place your business in just the right location. Owners, leave the headaches to us. We'll find your tenants or buyers while you stay at home. We'll even manage your property at your bidding. Anything real estate, come home to Gittins & Gittins Real Estate. Call us at 760-3280 or 747-1220 or visit us at 16 Fifth Street in Woodbrook.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Hi, I am Emiliana Beechan and I am a mental health and conflict resolution consultant. Welcome to Mind Matters, the show where we explore the intricate world of mental health and the art of conflict resolution. Join us as we hear from mental health professionals, conflict resolution experts, and everyday people who have transformed their lives through understanding and communication. Mind Matters, WESN Content Capital.
There are limitations in all healthcare sectors, not just this country, where the numbers will surpass the amount of doctors and nurses to provide that quality care. We're talking about holding a patient's hand, giving them the support, the emotional support that they need, advice. That gap, you are providing that pivotal gap, so that really makes you stand out from all other NGOs as far as my experience goes.
As I actually go into the homes also of the patient.
Jay, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
wanna-
to me. Respond to me.
you?
How you would respond to me?
The first question I would ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services, yeah.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor Jay wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor Jay and Ren.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, The Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for, it's called loss and damage. And we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region. Man
is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
Are you driven, ambitious, and ready to earn? WESN, the content capital, is expanding, and we're looking for dynamic media sales executives to join our team. Sell powerful advertising solutions across television, digital, and social media platforms, and help brands tell their story. If you have strong communication skills, a passion for sales, and the drive to succeed, join WESN today. Send your CV to marketing@wsncc.com or WhatsApp 68-61662 and start building your future.
Welcome back. Continuing with our Wildlife Spotlight segment, we have more videos for you to look at in terms of getting to know more about what's happening in our environment and the wildlife world. Take a look at this.
Red howler monkeys don't live on any other Caribbean island. They howl to defend their territories. Red howlers are vegetarians, and with both forest and swamp on their doorstep, they can choose from a wide selection of fruits and leaves. Other monkeys have more sophisticated tastes. The same swamp is home to capuchins. They've learned to come down to swamp level at the right time to snaffle a delicacy. When water levels drop, freshwater conches are left high and dry, sitting targets for these grab and smash artistes. Howlers and capuchins usually live only in South and Central America. And monkeys aren't the only mainlanders on Trinidad. This slow mover is a silky anteater. His giant claw and a gripping prehensile tail help keep his balance as he walks the mangrove tightropes of the swamp. So what makes Trinidad a haven for all these mainland castaways? The answer lies deep in the island's history. Until as recently as 2,000 years ago, it was part of South America. After the last ice age, rising sea levels gradually cut it off. So Trinidad is now a Caribbean island with a unique legacy of mainland life. Scarlet ibis are found around the deltas of the Amazon and Orinoco rivers. But up to 15,000 also live here in Trinidad's Caroni swamp. And each evening, they return to roost. The ibis cram onto mangrove islets. Safety in numbers is the best way to make it through the night. Scarlet ibis are one of this island's most colorful spectacles. The other is a highlight of the entire Caribbean. Carnival. At carnival time, music, folklore, creatures mythical and real, all come together for the Caribbean's biggest party. Carnival embodies the true spirit of the Caribbean, a vibrant melting pot of life. The variety of wildlife comes from the variety of the islands themselves.
It affects us every day, and we are surrounded by it. Yet most of us don't really know what it is or how to recognize it. It's climate change. And believe it or not, it is a problem that needs our immediate attention.
Climate change is a change or an alteration in what we expect from our climate systems on average globally. You usually look at climate change over a period of 30 years or more. So it is not the weather that we look at daily, but it's average changes in our weather patterns and in our atmospheric conditions over a 30-year period or longer.
We enjoy a land filled with natural treasures and exotic creatures, breathtaking beaches, and an ocean teeming with fish. But these precious resources are increasingly at risk due to climate change. Climate change affects the way our marine animals live and reproduce in our waters, and it affects how and what we grow on land. The reality is, our beaches, fish, and native crops may not be around to be enjoyed by our children or their children.
If you go back, let's say 10, 15 years ago, there was a time when fish was everywhere. And because of climate change and the storms and the hurricanes, we have seen it diminish in fish, in conch, in lobster, in grouper, and snapper.
Over the past 5 seasons that we've been having a really intense warm spell quite early in the season, like in April sometime. And actually this past season that really put a hit on my crop, and I essentially had to end sooner than I would have usually.
Our climate is warmer than it used to be. Warmer climate presents warmer oceans, and warmer oceans are the perfect environment for the development of devastating hurricanes, like Hurricane Dorian, the most devastating event in Bahamian history. This Category 5 hurricane cost us heavily in lasting infrastructural and economic damage, and more importantly, human lives.
People are still struggling in Abaco. A lot of people moved to the States. Abaco is known for, its attraction for, the boating community and yachting community, high-end homeowner community. And, everybody's gone.
If climate change continues on this track, what we can expect to see are more intense storms like Dorian. We may not see more frequent storms, but the storms that we do get will be very intense.
Another less obvious effect of climate change is land erosion. We are literally losing miles of land mass as coastlines erode due to rising sea levels. Rising sea levels, higher water tables, and storms naturally require that we construct stronger buildings and other infrastructure. This means higher costs for private construction projects and more expenditure for national infrastructural projects like roads and coastal barriers.
We are now seeing more Category 4 storms, more Category 5 storms, and then there's Category Dorian. So the building code is undergoing a change right now. What that will see in many instances is an increase in hurricane straps, higher foundations. Maybe we look to building on stilts.
Solving the problem of climate change requires that we all change. This is why the government of the Bahamas has established an energy policy with the goal of converting to 30% renewable energy by 2033. Through financial investment from the Green Climate Fund and partnership with the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center and other donors, the Bahamian government has already implemented several green climate initiatives, as well as incentives for those moving toward climate-conscious living.
The government has introduced incentives to encourage Bahamians to purchase solar panels and energy-efficient appliances into their homes. If you were to buy a non-energy efficient appliance, you may pay 45%, for example, on a washing machine, but if you get the energy-efficient one, the duty rate is 5%.
The Bahamian government has also planted several flagship projects with the intent of replicating these models throughout the wider public sector.
We have 2 projects that have been completed. One is the solar installation at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium that is almost 1 megawatt of solar power. And the second one is a pilot project at the Anatole Rogers High School, which is 250 kilowatts of solar panels installed on the school.
Most of the negative effects of climate change are due to everyday citizens like you and I, how we live, consume, and interact with our environment. Fortunately, there are very easy and practical adaptations we all can make that will have a hugely positive and lasting impact on our environment and our climate. It doesn't matter which corner or which island you live on. Now is your time to change.
The future generation will suffer tremendously because we didn't put the right perspective in place to preserve a future for our future generation.
A healthier climate means a higher quality of living and increased opportunity for all. It means a healthier environment and a country that we can proudly pass on to generations to come.
So there's a Native American proverb that states, we do not inherit the land from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. We are losing land, our temperatures are rising, we're losing our natural resources with respect to our coral reefs, our fish, our farming. We're losing these things as a result of climate change. So it's not a particular set of people's problem, it's everybody's problem. Just like tourism is everybody's business, climate change is everybody's business.
And the best way forward toward a healthier, better Bahamas is together.
Coral reefs can be so awe-inspiring that they change a person's life in a minute.
Well, the first time I saw a beautiful reef, I was so transported. I decided I had to become a marine biologist.
Reef ecologist Judy Lang did her graduate research in Jamaica, a jewel of the Caribbean Sea. It was the early 70s. And the beautiful coral reefs attracted tourists from all over the world. But 40 years later, algae now smothers the reefs.
Jamaica is the first place that reefs really declined in a precipitous manner really quickly.
But it didn't happen by chance or all at once. It began with overfishing. In 30 years, the bigger predators like grouper, barracuda, and sharks were all but wiped out. But no one suspected this would endanger reefs. Then the mysterious white band disease suddenly appeared and began to kill off the signature elkhorn and staghorn corals. Next, Hurricane Allen's 40-foot waves pounded Jamaica's coral into dust.
It was analogous to a forest fire coming through and burning down all the trees.
Weak, infested with snails and worms, the beautiful elkhorn and staghorn corals almost disappeared. And the calamities piled up when the population of sea urchins was decimated 2 years later.
And even today, we still have not figured out what the cause of the die-off was.
The little black urchins had served a useful function.
They would eat all the algae in their path, and they kept the reef clean.
Parrotfish and doctorfish also grazed the algae along the reefs. But now, with the bigger fish gone, local fishermen filled the markets with these smaller cows of the sea, and their numbers plummeted. Without the herbivores, corals were overrun with algae and seaweed. And the onslaught continued. Farming became more industrialized, and hotels lined the beaches, pouring fertilizers, sewage, and other nutrients into the sea. Food for plants and algae. And the final blow is global warming.
The greenhouse effect is warming the oceans, and it turns out that corals already live very close to their upper thermal limits.
In this damaged environment, mass bleaching drained corals of their color and life. For Jamaica, these assaults add up to disaster.
We used to have 60 to 70% of the bottom covered by coral. Today there's 2 to 5% in many, many places.
The same story repeats itself throughout the Caribbean, where coral reefs have declined by 80%. What took a few decades to destroy will take centuries to repair. But it can be done.
We understand now that reefs are very, very resilient. These corals can rebound. And I think just over time they can come back as long as we take steps to reduce human threats.
Governments across the Caribbean are now stepping up to meet the challenge through better management. In new marine protected areas, fish stocks can replenish themselves. And nurseries of baby corals grow to regenerate damaged reefs. New building regulations prevent sediment and pollution from flowing into the ocean. In Belize, the government has banned catching parrotfish and other plant eaters that clean the reefs. If these initiatives are expanded, coral reefs will have a chance to recover.
Switching up gears a bit, artificial intelligence is changing the way we work, learn, and communicate. But behind every AI chatbot, image generator, and search engine is a network of massive data centers that consume enormous amounts of electricity and water. We dive more into this in our environmental changes segment. As countries around the world race to build AI infrastructure, an important question arises. What are the environmental implications? Joining us this morning is environmental advocate Siam Nath to help us better understand the conversation. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, and you?
Pretty good.
So, right off the bat, when we use AI every day, what happens behind the scenes?
Well, AI is a very broad term. You know, it's in everything from your phone, your facial recognition, to in your car. But there's various forms of AI.
Yeah.
You know, some people think ChatGPT and these LLMs, large language models, and that's just one kind.
Mm-hmm.
But AI is already, you know, it's in our everyday lives in different forms. But
yeah.
when you talk about AI data centers, that's a completely different ballgame. That is huge industrial complexes with huge economic taxes on a power grid, as well as environmental costs.
Yeah. And can you tell us why exactly would an AI center or AI data centers consume so much energy and water, or why is it so energy intensive?
We have a few data centers in Trinidad, 5, if I'm not mistaken, but these are regular data centers for housing regular data as companies and government will need. But AI data centers, it's kind of like comparing a car to a plane. The amount, like, think of the difference in the engine, how far it can get within a certain space of time, how fast it can go, and how much people it can carry. So instead of people, think about data and information. That's how fast in difference it's going to be processing these large amounts of data using, for example, things like these ChatGPT models, or even in cryptocurrency mining.
Right. Yeah. And along those lines, is there a balance between embracing technology innovation and protecting the environment?
I always tend to believe yes, because in my work, you know, in bioacoustics, this is my specialty, and we study the sounds of animals, but it's wildlife research using advanced recording technology and video technology, computer science, and applied engineering. So I am very pro-technology. And yes, I have done independent consulting for companies like BP and Shell, where they hire people like myself to give them an unbiased report of whether they're following regulations for environmental responsibility, and they need those reports to try to ensure that they keep getting business. So yes, I think people in my field, we do believe that. That's why we do what we do, and we try to just make sure that regulations, the proper regulations are put in place and adhered to.
Yeah.
So yes, I do think that we can strike a balance, but in the same way that I am very familiar with the process of offshore in the oil and gas industry, from the bid, come down to the baseline environmental data that's needed before any kind of seismic operation, and then the studies during and after. So yes, I think that these things can be done in a responsible way, but transparency is needed from the inception, as it is in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah. Now, there have been talks that AI centers can place additional pressure on our electricity grid. Do you have any thoughts on this? Yeah.
From the numbers I was looking at, it definitely looks like these couldn't cost us what's already about 34%, 1/3 of what we use electrically already, and our power grid is powered by gas. And I was reading that we're already in debt with this gas, and you know, I've worked in the Dragon field when it was shut down. And I'm familiar with the exploration endeavors in this country right now for gas, how much we bank on that, when we could be looking at green energy and sustainable solutions. So the numbers are not adding up to me, as economist Wayne Kabral Singh rightly put it.
Right.
So that's concerning.
And along those lines, the water consumption has become a major concern globally, but bringing it home to us here, how significant is that an issue?
Well, there are many people who don't concern themselves with water shortages in Trinidad, but there are many people who suffer from it and get water maybe twice a week. And being in an island, yes, we have water all around us. We never think about a shortage of water, but desalination comes at a cost. These things, these processes to remove the salt from the water to make it usable in cooling down these data centers, because these machines get very hot, and when they get very hot, they don't work well, and then they also can overheat and malfunction. So one of the solutions is to use water-powered cooling systems, and that water needs to be first desalinated and treated, and then after, it's not pure water. After it comes in contact with all this machinery, so it needs to be treated afterwards. And I read that there were talks about using man-made ponds.
Yeah.
I've looked at the areas in St. Madeleine where they propose to have some of these centers, and it's not so populated, but then we have to look at the environmental costs as well. There need to be ecological studies of what animals are going to be affected and how it's going to affect the water. We do know that there's changes in the water system and could be rightly affecting the last 36 manatees, the endangered manatees in the river swamp. The water is, the temperature is changing, the acidity is changing, and their food, their seagrass is dying. So the ecosystem is in a very delicate state right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I strayed off topic there.
Yeah. And in terms of putting policies in place, what policies should the government consider before even approving large-scale AI facilities?
Well, firstly, yeah, we're calling for transparency, but in a case like this, there was a comment by a government leader that we shouldn't be concerned with this because we treat this company, because the country is a dump and we litter. But in conservation, we face a lot of challenges. There's a $12 billion TT Green Fund, and there are several environmental NGOs for whom this money is allotted for conservation NGOs, but the administrative difficulty in accessing this large amount is a real hindrance to conservation efforts. And the money is there, but they don't have enough administrative strength to process as fast as they're accumulating. And the environment and conservation on a national level is paying for it. And then private companies have to come in and step in. When this has already been very neatly and with great foresight, this money has been put aside for the good of the country and for conservation NGOs. So in my response to that, to these leaders is, well, if they put some focus into Green Fund, in developing it, hiring more people, hiring people with more expertise for the advanced projects that are planned currently, then we can take it upon ourselves to put in the right environmental monitoring programs and ecological studies to make sure that this is done in the best way possible. So it's an infrastructural hiccup, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, putting things in plan or in motion, for businesses, what roles should business play in reducing that AI environmental footprint?
Well, definitely accountability, electrical usage, water usage. And when you talk about businesses, there's a lot of various forms of business that are applicable. There's NGOs and CSOs, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations.
Right.
People like the Trinidad and Tobago Cetacean Society, Species. And then there's also private companies like my bioacoustics consulting company. And some of us are fighting for the same thing, conservation. Is just different ways that we go about financing these things. For NGOs, they rely a lot on government funding, like Green Fund. With my independent consulting, I get foreign grants for equipment. I get university students donating to my research and for me to train them. So depending on the company, depending on the goals of those companies, they'll have different inputs. Some will be more geared towards humans and education and to people. And throughout all of this, my companies, we propose a lot of capacity building. So yes, we want to get money from Green Fund to do these operations, but we also will be training the youth and the qualified people of today and the less qualified people so that they can find new avenues of work. Because I have worked in several countries in conservation, and it is an untapped resource for economic development.
Yeah, it is. And even as individuals, how can our everyday use of AI even make that meaningful difference?
I think with the surge of AI, how fast it became and how smart it became. And when we talk about ChatGPT and these programs, and I tell my students, it's not a smart thing. It's not like a human. It's a language imitator program. And people have become quite reliant on it for a lot of things, and it's become it seems a bit irresponsible when it's abused, I think. And for example, with it's okay to use it for a logo every now and then, I think, but really we shouldn't be taking away these opportunities from local artists, local writers, local filmmakers who are extremely talented and already face troubles in financing their brilliant work. And so instead of substituting something cultural and beautiful and meaningful, the world is becoming, and even locally, people are becoming saturated with the AI slop. But it should never be encroaching on real local artists' outputs. And so, back to your question about what people can do, I think we can be mindful. We can also be very mindful that it's not always correct, and maybe you can go onto Google Scholar if you're looking for real scientific data, PubMed if you're looking for real medical data, and you always need to check your facts. Because the more specialized you get, the more wrong it's going to be, because the more you will know about these programs, then the more you will know than these programs know, because they're just going to do a quick search, and they will try to do as little as possible. And so you have to say, where did you find that? You really have to know how to navigate if you're using these LLMs, these generative AI, like ChatGPT and Claude.
Right. And you would have mentioned or touched on this before, just to elaborate a bit more on it, but are there any other examples of other countries that we can take or learn from in the sense of having the AI centers or AI data centers and just do better with it? Yeah.
That's an excellent question. The United States right now is getting a lot of criticism for various decisions they made in conservation, removing various laws and various bans to fish in certain places, harming endangered species that are on the brink of extinction, such as the Rice's whale, which only exists in the Gulf of Mexico, about 52 left. So they're really pulling out the stops. But even in the United States, they are putting down the stops for data centers. They put a moratorium on data centers in the city of Manhattan, in New York, and in places like Memphis, Tennessee. The United States is very big. There's a lot of empty space, but still these neighborhoods, they're finding all kinds of horrible medical responses and impacts to the people of these towns. And I urge local medical professionals to disseminate this information, and I have been disseminating as much as I can online through my avenues. But the people have spoken. The people see this in the news already. The people of Trinidad who have signed this petition, it is at 17,000. That means one in every Trinidadian has already signed it in maybe 2 or 3 days. And so the people have spoken, and they will comment what they have seen and what they have learned about what's happening in the US in particular. Europe is a little bit more strict about these things. The idea of democracy in places like that the country belongs to the people, and that's something that I've learned from my studies in Europe, that I try to teach to the people here. This is our country, and if it's something that we don't want, then it shouldn't be forced upon us. But not to be radical. Back to the main point is that we are calling for transparency.
Right.
And that's what they call for in these town meetings in the States, and they have spoken so loudly and clearly, and they have the facts. And so we need the facts presented, and then the people have to make the decision about the facts. So I think we can actually look at the United States and take a page out of their book for this. And we also have to wonder why it is that, that US data centers are being built in Trinidad when the United States is so huge with so much space.
Definitely an interesting, thought-provoking part that you just left there for persons to take in. And along those lines of just having opportunities, back to when you mentioned utilizing the renewable energy instead as a better source. What are your views on ensuring that there is opportunities to edify persons on how to go about this part instead of what is currently being done?
Yes, it's going to be a big infrastructural hurdle. Sorry,
yeah.
But back to capacity building. When we explore these new avenues of economic development, whether it's conservation technology, and with it there's a lot of computer science that's needed, but with big projects like the ones that my companies propose, it takes all sorts. We need scientists, we need engineers, we need vets, we need couriers, we need boat captains, we need health and safety professionals. And when you steer into a new direction, there's obviously it's going to require training.
Yeah.
But my associates in Trinidad and globally, are very well prepared to steer into certain directions. Of sustainable energy, that's not my field, but while we explore new types of energy, there's always going to be construction. There's always going to be operations in nature where they're creating noise, and that's going to require ecologists and bioacousticians like myself to make sure that damage isn't being done or it's mitigated as much as possible, and that the benefits outweigh the cons.
Yeah, definitely.
And the EMA does a good job at stipulating what measures need to be taken, what professionals need to be hired to ensure that. And so I'm very sure that the EMA will do a good job with this. But at the same time, the people of Day Bay need full transparency for back to the AI data centers, and they need to know what's happening to their town. The sooner the better.
Yeah. And from this conversation, what is one message you hope the viewers can take away this morning?
And I hope I don't confuse anyone by saying this, but AI is not the devil. AI is not all bad. In my research for wildlife, we use AI on our computers. It's free, it's open source, and it has nothing to do with AI data centers. As I said, AI is everywhere, and it shouldn't be confused with AI data centers or large language models, LLMs, like ChatGPT. And yes, the agenda behind those companies is not something that is good in general. They don't really care about the effects on conservation or on humanity. It's a capitalist movement. But it's not all bad, and it is here to stay, but we have a say in how it's used and how it's implemented in our country.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but definitely not least, if the AI infrastructures continue to be invested in our country right now and be built up, what safeguards should be put in place moving forward?
Well, definitely environmental monitoring, baseline. So before any construction ever happens, we need to know a snapshot of what the environment looks like here. What's the temperature? What's the winds like? What are the animals there? I want to say animals, from insects to birds to bats to mammals. And the acoustic technology that we use in my field can tell you all of that. So we need to know what it looks like before, during, and after. And that's just, I think that's the first step, as well as a lot of education and awareness needs to be made at the community level and the national level.
Yeah. And just to give the viewers a bit of ease on their concerns, with knowing that, as you mentioned, AI is not the devil, and it's not coming to fully take over everything that we have going on, but just to ease them on the cost for the environmental in terms of prices increasing in certain things, and just set their minds at ease.
Well, you know, economics is not my specialty, but yes, I think we need to know, well, I don't know if that's going to set anybody's mind at ease. I wish I could, but my mind is not at ease right now, to be honest, until we see some transparency. Right. But I do believe, I do believe, we have the professionals that can do the best job, amazing job in environmental responsibility, making sure that once we know what's happening, that the best things can be put into place. So I do think it's not a lost cause. We have the people right here who do amazing work in environmental monitoring for big companies like BP and Shell and all over the world. Right here in Trinidad, we have these extremely qualified professionals. And so I think, yes, I think we can do a great job at making sure that this is something not negative for our country.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
If it is to go through. If it is to go through.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Siam, for coming on and giving us your insights on the issue and helping set some decency and transparency for us to know what is happening and what can possibly happen and what we should be looking forward towards. So thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the conversation.
Sure. And if you'd like to know more about my work, just check out nath.tt. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, guys, everything we've talked about today, we hope that there was something you can take away from it and just try to set a trend where you get to make that difference. Of course, I always say to end, stay safe, stay informed, stay positive. Up next, we do have Sean Michael Small at 8 with Talking Points, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye.
WESN.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
In this day of stay-at-home and work from home, home has never meant more than it does today. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or build your new home, now is the time to get going. Get in.